Okay, so the question reads, how would you prepare 250 cc's of 4% Lysol solution from a 25% Lysol solution? We've actually done these chemistries a lot in we've actually done these questions, sorry, a lot in chemistry last fall. And we've actually done them a different way that way. So if you can't remember how to do a question like this, you can always resort back to your molarity, which is your concentration, molarity 1, and your volume 1 is also equal to your molarity 2, volume 2. Okay, so in this example here, your molarity for your molarity or concentration M1 would be the 25%, and the volume we're not sure of because that is how the question's asking, well, like how much would you use essentially. And your molarity 2 would be your 4%, and the volume needed would be 250 cc's, which is equivalent to 250 milliliters. But for you can do that. That's not a problem if you remember how to do that. However, how can we solve this problem using methods that we have been using in class? So the first thing that we're going to figure out is we know we need to make 250 cc's, which is equivalent to 250 milliliters, but that's our solution. And the question is really what we need to establish here. Yes, our strength that we're going to use is 4%, stated here, but that's not a working fraction for us. So we need to first get that into a working fraction. So what we're first going to do is figure out, well, the solution is 250 cc's, but exactly how much chemical is in 250 cc's that is equivalent to 4%. So when we convert our 4% into our working fraction, we have 4 milliliters over 100 milliliters. But what's more important to recognize here is what is the solute and what's the solution. So, and this is a really important part for a question like this because we will be canceling out solutions or solutes depending on where we are in the process. So right now what we're trying to establish is exactly how much solute or chemical is in the 250 cc's. So we know that if the question I was asking you was, well, given 100 milliliters, 4% Lysol solution, well, how many milliliters would you have? And that would be 4 milliliters based on the 4 divided by 100 multiplied by 100. But we need to know 250 cc's. So we're going to cancel out the cc's, and we multiply 250 cc's by 4, which give us 1,000 milliliters or 1,000 cc's, and we're going to divide that by 100. And what we end up getting is, 1,000 cc's of solute divided by 100, and what we end up getting is 10 milliliters or 10 cc's of solute needed. And that's important because that 10 milliliters or cc's of solute is really important in this question because what we're now going to look at is, well, where is that 10 milliliters coming from? So we need 10 milliliters of solute based on the 4%, and we're going to make a 250 cc solution. So we've determined that we need 10 milliliters of solute, but where exactly is that going to come from? That's where the 25% Lysol solution comes in. So that 25%, again, for us is 25 milliliters of solute over 100 milliliters of solution. So what we're going to do is we now are going to use this as a unit fraction to determine exactly how much solution we're taking. So what we're basically doing here is we're taking that 10 milliliters, and that's our solute, and even though that 25% has not only 25 milliliters of chemical in it, and also the addition of the water to make up the 100 milliliters, we're going to treat this 25% as if it were a pure chemical. Okay, we know it's not, it's only a 25% strength, but for the purpose of the calculation, we're diluting this further down to 4%, so that's okay. But what we have to keep in mind though is the solute aspect needs to be on the bottom, because we're no longer interested in finding out exactly how much solute we need. We know that. We need 10 milliliters of it. The question becomes, how much of the solution are we taking from the 25%? And that's why that needs to stick around. So the solutes will cancel out. 10 multiplied by 100 will give you 1,000 milliliters of solution. And we're still going to divide that by the 25, which gives us 40 milliliters, or sorry, 40 cc's. So we're going to take 40 cc's needed, but what if the question asked, describe how you would go about doing this? So essentially what we're going to do is you have 250 cc's, that's the full solution that we're going to make, and we're minusing that by 40 cc's to get 210 cc's. So essentially what we would do is, step one, you would take 40 cc's or milliliters of your 25% Lysol solution and put it into a beaker. Okay, and then you would add 210 cc's of water for a total solution of 250 cc's. So I hope this video helps. Please let me know if you need any further assistance with a question like this. Thank you.